Welcome to Derek Does. Today, we're doing this. This is my 1987 Honda Accord LXI hatchback. The car has 85,000 original miles. It's a 5-speed and it's a 1-owner. I purchased this car through an online estate sale. They have those now after COVID. When you go to an estate sale, sometimes they don't want people there, so they take pictures of everything and they put it online. And this car was one of those. They're still doing that. I saw it at my local estate sale ads that come out. And the reason I got this, one, I love it. But two, I'm a huge vintage 80s Honda fanatic. I've had 92s, I've had 90s, I've had 93s, I've had 94s, I've had 90 Civics, I've had 2 Honda CRXs, an 85 and an 84. And this is kind of why I have this car, is because I've been looking for an old Honda CRX to replace that 85 I had that I just loved. And I couldn't find one, it's particularly one that was in this condition. I see a lot of them where kids get them and they lower them and they swap the motors and everything. I wanted an HF model, which is the high fuel, which I had before, but I couldn't find it. And then this popped up and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to bid on that. And I got it such a reasonable price too. Unbelievable, actually, that what I thought I could get this for. And once I saw the car in person, you just realize what a fantastic shape this is. I'm going to show you just how great of shape this is. Because the ad just said it's an 85,000 mile Honda. It didn't say it was a 1-owner. It didn't say quite the condition it's in. But you're going to see the condition it's in. And I see only one flaw cosmetically. And, well, besides, you know, the rubber needs redone so it gets that black color. But I'll take it into the shop. Have them give it a once over. I know the brakes are a little soft and I'll need a new muffler, new tires, but that's pretty much any used car you buy is going to have those problems. But let me walk you around the car and show you its features. Again, as I was saying, the whole thing started with a CRX. I worked at a place and a guy had an old CRX and he asked me, he knew I was into cars, and he said, hey, would you like to sell my car for me? I'll give you 10%. And I said, sure, what do you have? And he said, oh, I've got this old Honda. And I looked at it, it was a CRX. And I go, well, what do you want to sell it for? And he said, I don't know, $200. And I said, well, I'll buy it for $200. So I bought it and I drove it for 3 years straight. The speedometer was broken, had no idea it had stopped at 200-some thousand miles. But this car is so much nicer than that one, really. Just take a look at this thing. Right now it has reproduction, or not reproduction, but non-original tires, or wheels, which actually don't look bad on it, and snow tires, because we are in Colorado. It has really cool pop-up headlights, which was a thing for the 85 to 89 Accords. And this car came in a hatchback, a coupe, a 4-door, and I think it came in a station wagon too, or at least the ones after this came in the station wagon model. The hatchback is probably one of the rarest and most desirable ones just because of its sportiness and just how cool it looks. It looks a lot like a CRX. To me, it's just like a beefy CRX. But everything's boxy, as you can see. Everything is either a triangle or a box. There is no smoothness on this car, even though it's very aerodynamic, as you can tell from the front with the concealed headlights like that, pop-up headlights. It actually was one of Honda's first actually aerodynamic vehicles they made. So let me show you on the inside. The color, I believe, is a champagne beige metallic. This is an original paint with pinstriping, with even LXI, the actual model, you know, the submodel, painted into it. I mean, you just don't see this anymore on cars. As you can see, the molding I will have to fix, or at least get that darkened up. and the molding here had this plasticky, it's a chrome underneath it, so I need to figure out how to get that back to normal, and it's up here on the top of the deck too. But everything's original. As you can see, the only damage I saw on the entire car, and I'm talking there's no rust, there's no dents. I've got a little cracked here, and I think I can just glue that, take that off, glue it back together, and I'm good. I mean, look at the bumper. I mean, it's never been bumped. It's just crazy how perfect this car is. So let's check inside. Now inside it's got these huge doors, which most cars from the 70s and 80s did. But you can see it's this burgundy velour. I mean, when's the last time you saw a velour in a car? But look at the condition of the seats. You know, there's no wear, there's no tear. The back seats, the same. Super, super clean. The interior, super, super clean. And it comes with a 5-speed, very desirable. I'll come inside, and you can see here's the tach, 85,000 miles. Or the speedometer, your tach, speedo, you got your fuel, temperature, those are for doors, that's your trip, obviously for your seatbelt. You have power mirrors, lights which do pop up, you have cruise control, and of course Honda has these little pieces there. Did it get replaced? The radio got replaced, but it got replaced correctly with this Alpine. Detachable Alpine. Isn't that 80s? But it was detachable, and I believe I do have records. The 70s and 80s records, I'm sorry, the 80s and 90s records are missing, but I do have the 2000 records. I mean, just look how clean this is. You have a little deck, that's for the radio there, and also has air conditioning, and everything is push button, like actual push button. No electronic really. You know, here's your fan, you have multiple fans. Your heat is just a slider, which I really love. And up here you have defrost on that side. What is that, your hazards maybe? No, that's your hazards. I don't know what that, oh, that's probably just, oh, that's just your lights for the dash. Your horns are little buttons, and then you have your cruise control here, and of course your gas, brake, and clutch. And of course you have this. And then seatbelt emergency release is located on buckle. Like, people don't know that, but maybe that was a new thing. This design of a seatbelt instead of a button, because they used to always be buttons. So maybe, I'm not sure when this actually came out. I know my older cars had this, but maybe this doesn't. You can just see it does not have a sunroof, which I actually like not having a sunroof, because I never use a sunroof. And it has a little vanity mirror here. Now, let's take a look. Let's pop the hood, the important hood. So the hood's been popped, and then you just have a lever underneath. This raises up, and I'm not sure, I guess it goes into this one. I'm not sure, I haven't really messed with this one at all though, but here's the engine. I'll do some close-ups for you. I probably will need a valve cover gasket because I see a little bit of oil on the top. I have seen not one drop of oil on the driveway, which is really great. So as you can see, this is what the motor looks like. It's super, super clean. I mean, there's got a little bit of leaves in there, and obviously it's a little dirty, but it's not bad at all. The guy really kept it up nicely. I had heard that the guy was actually really into 1957 Chevys. So obviously he was a car guy, and this was his personal car. So he kept it really nice. So you can still see its stickers. It shows you where everything is. Retention. I mean, this is not even messed with. And the nice thing is, so it's an inline 4, as you can see here, but it also programmable fuel injection. There's no carb on this one. So this was, I believe, one of the first years, I think my 85 CRX did, I can't remember if it had a carb or not, but this is right when Honda got into electronic fuel ignition. So this is what this is. And you can just see it's just really nicely kept. It's just very, very, very nice. Now let's walk around to the back. I'll show you the hatchback. The only thing I'm missing that I'd like to have is the, it was an option, was lavors that went across as a sunshade. I had that on my CRX and it was really nice. When you have this much glass at that angle, pounding down, especially in the Colorado sun, it really comes in handy. But you can see here, and then there's a little latch underneath. Or actually, I'll probably have to use the key. I think this doesn't have a latch. This is before latches. So we'll insert the key, turn it, it unlocked, and then it lifts up. You have 2 shocks on either side, and then there's a little shelf here, and which is still here, which I hear is actually kind of hard to find. And then there's also a shelf up here, and those 2 shelves, when they come together, they make a solid shelf to keep the sun out from inside. And then here you have your light. I'm not sure what this is. This was just in here. I never even looked yet to see if the spare is in here. But let's take a look. We'll look together, and it's got a little tiny donut spare, and it says Goodyear. That is the original spare to the vehicle, and it's got a little kit right there. A little bit of cracking on the, whatever deadening sound it looks like they have on there, but look at that, no rust, super, super clean. And then this folds back down, and you can see there. And these seats also fold down. So if you're going to be hauling something, you just lift these up, and the seats, both seats go down. You can either do a half or both. So you can put that down. You could throw a 10-speed bike in there, go to the store, pick up a bunch of whatever it is that's big. You can put that in there. But you can see it's really easy to get into. Closes nicely, and here you can see where it comes together. It has speakers in the back. I'm not sure what this is. This might be for a child safety seeing. I'm not sure. You do have a rear wiper that comes down here, but if you notice, the fluid is way up there. So it makes sense. The fluid comes here, comes down, and goes back and forth. Right now it's got these American Racing aluminum snow tires on it, but you can see it's just, I mean, there's no, oh, right here, you can check, you know it's a Colorado car. See those? That's from hail. So it's got like just a few little dimples from hail, but that's it. Every car in Colorado has hail damage and usually a cracked windshield. Those are things that just happen. But so what I'm going to do is, if you guys know, I would love it if you could tell me the best way to get this black. I've seen a lot of products out there, a lot of ways to do it, but that's something I'd like to learn to get this back to pretty much new looking. So coming back in the car, it also came with a whole bunch of stuff. And one of those things being the original owner's manual. That's what it looks like for a 2007. I'm sorry, a 1987. A couple years off on that, aren't I? Owner's manual. And then you also have the 87 warranties. They gave me this too, which I don't know why they did, but this is an 87 owner's manual for a Civic. So maybe the guy bought a Civic and a Accord at the same time. But I do have records for everything from 2000 on, all the way up till a couple years ago, actually, which is really nice. I know he replaced the AC cylinder, charger or whatever, because it had some issues. So that's good, because I know this is an older version and I may not be able to get those again. So that's really nice. I noticed on the cigarette lighter, look at that. It's never been used. So this car's never been smoked in. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video on the 1987 Honda Accord LX hatchback. that I just picked up. This is going to be like a part 1, I think, because as I'm going along, I'll document as I get things fixed up and cleaned up. So stay tuned, as this will be a long process, but I'm going to get this car looking almost like a showroom if I can, or just darn close to it. If you like this sort of content, please subscribe, comment, like. Let me know if you've ever had one of these, or if you have some tips on this particular car, or anything that I need to look out for. Again, I'm new to the the 87 Accord. I've had Civics and I've had older and younger Accords, but this is it's what I have now. So I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next Derek Does.